Let's talk about a feeling that's probably familiar to a lot of us, but it can be really hard to put a finger on. It's that feeling of being completely exhausted after you've been with people, even when the interaction was totally fine.
I mean, really think about it. You walk away from a chat, maybe even a really good one with a friend, and instead of feeling energized, you just feel wiped out. It's a very specific kind of tired, isn't it? And it can be kind of confusing when it happens.
Because when you play it back in your head, everything seems okay. On the outside, you were right there. You were a part of it all. You were smiling. You were engaging, nodding along, asking questions. From the outside looking in, you were doing everything right. But then the second you're alone, this wave of exhaustion just washes over you. And it's not a physical thing. It's this really deep mental drain. And that's the part that gets you, right? Because nothing bad happened. There was no argument. So why do you feel so completely spent?
Well, it turns out the reason often has nothing to do with the conversation itself. It's about all the invisible work that was happening just beneath the surface.
Think about all that hidden effort. It's so much more than just talking. You're constantly aware of how you're being perceived. You're making tiny adjustments to your tone of voice. You're carefully choosing your words, all while trying to read the room. You know, every single one of those little micro adjustments is a task. It's a job your brain is doing in the background. And all of that quiet work, it just burns through your energy. And this really gets to the core of it all. It highlights this huge difference between just being in a conversation and performing in one. So on one side, you have just being present. You're just there, participating. But on the other, you have managing the conversation. And that's where you're actively working to shape the interaction, to control how you come across. And this has a name. It's called social performance. It's that constant management of yourself in this situation. And that performance is what leaves you feeling so dreamed, not just your presence. So once you can start to see this pattern in yourself, what's next? Well, the change doesn't have to be some huge, dramatic thing. It can actually start with a really quiet internal shift. The very first step isn't about changing what you do at all. It's simply about noticing, just bringing a gentle awareness to what's going on inside you during those conversations. So the practice is just this. Just notice. Notice those moments where you feel yourself trying a little too hard, or when you feel that internal pressure to be seen as smart or funny or agreeable. No judgment, just noticing. And as you get better at noticing, you can start to slowly give yourself permission to put in a little less effort. It's not about forcing anything, just allowing yourself to manage things a little bit less. And the goal here is not to be perfect. That's just another kind of performance, isn't it? The real goal is to be a little more honest in the moment, to shrink that gap between who you really are and who you're performing as. And that's really the whole point. This is why it matters. Because the more you can let go of that performance, the more you stop trying to manage every little detail, the less drained you're going to feel afterward. You actually get to keep that energy for yourself.